Whoa, 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 whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know. Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard all across the World Wide Web. OMG, super excited to have you guys tuning in today for another phenomenal show. I'm telling you what, you want to tune in, you want to check this show out. Listen, this is what I want you to do. Jump on Twitter, tell them what you're listening to. Jump on Facebook, tell them what you're listening to. I know you're following me on Twitter, twitter.com/Sharvette. Hopefully we're connected on Facebook, facebook.com/Sharvette, where I have tagged and tweeted my guests. So listen, you can just go right there and get the information that you need to listen to the show and to share it with a friend. So today's show, I have two dynamic women that are joining us. Listen, my first guest is hanging out with me in the virtual green room, coming up to the mic shortly. I'm super excited to have Linda F. Williams joining us. She's an educator. She's an author. She's a life and empowerment coach and a motivational speaker. And she has a new compelling self-help book called Whose Apple Is It Anyway? You're going to hear all about it, hear about her story, about her company, and I'm telling you what, you will definitely be motivated, excited, and influenced by that interview. And then we will follow up in the second segment. Super excited to have Angelia White joining us. She's the CEO and publisher of Hope for Women magazine. It is a lifestyle magazine that is catered to and tailored to diverse women of faith. It reaches over 100,000 readers every single month, and you're going to get to talk to the CEO and the publisher and listen to me talk to and chat with the CEO and publisher of Hope for Women magazine. All right, so I know I got you excited. You're like, yep, I'm in the right place today. All right, listen, I definitely got to give a shout out because during this show, I'm going to tell you, if you're in the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, I'm going to tell you how you can win 2 tickets to a mother-daughter celebration. Oh, my goodness, it's happening May 2nd. The tickets are valued at $20 a piece, so it's a total prize value of $40. And I'm going to tell you later in the show, yep, that means you got to listen. You got to stay tuned in. I'm going to tell you how you can win 2 tickets. The event, oh, my goodness, it features Nidra K from Showtime at the Apollo. It features author Michelle Roll, who's a past guest from the show. It features author Aisha Gaptooth Diva, past guest of the show. It features Reverend Marlene Fuller, friend of the show, jazz singer Joni Valentine, and much, much more. Is being presented by Teresa Flats. Big shout out to her again. You will find out how you can get 2 tickets to that event if you're in Richmond. Now, if you're not in Richmond, you're welcome to fly in, walk in, bicycle in, whatever you want to do to get here for that event. So we'll give you that information later. All right, so we're ready to jump right in. The goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence, and we bring you guests that will help you do just that. And my first guest I'm bringing up to the mic right now, Linda F. Williams. I'm telling you what, she has a survivor story, and I'm going to let her tell it in her own words, but she's a life coach. She's a relationship expert. You heard me list all of the things that she does, and I want you to hear directly from her right now. Linda, welcome to the show.
I have been looking forward to this for weeks on end, my friend. How are you?
Oh, my goodness.
I am
we
so
are
excited
to have you.
Oh, my
Yes.
goodness. I call you, I tell your listeners, I call you Lady M. Lady M. That's right. Look, hey, I know we got short time here, so I think I'll just jump right in and tell everybody that my whole purpose apparently has become clear to me to facilitate the destiny of others. That's what drives me. That's what motivates me. And I'm coming from a platform of having been stuck on stupid my doggone self for most of my doggone life. I know how not to do it. I know how to encourage you in the trenches, and I'm hoping that everybody wants to get a hold of that book, Whose Apple Is It Anyway?
My goodness. And first of all, you got to tell us what the title. Tell us about that title. That's very distinct. What does that mean to the reader?
Well, my writing coach, Nancy Pesky, told me to shorten the title of the book. It was pretty long at first. She told me to reach my basic concept. And this was 5 years into the 7 years it took me to write the book. So I researched it, and I came up with Whose Fruit Is It Anyway? Because I was going to be talking basically about what happened in the garden and basically about how we don't have to take all the rotten apples that are thrown at us. And I came across a story about Buddha where he was getting cursed out by some guy that really was offended by the fact that Buddha with his begging basket, and he couldn't understand why Buddha didn't get up and get a job, and the guy was just going off as if he was highly offended. And, of course, according to the story, Buddha was sitting there very calm and unmoved by that, the things this man was saying. Well, you know, it's just like, Sharvette, you know how it is. If you don't let people see you sweat when they're trying to push your buttons, count on them clowning worse because they're not getting the response they want. So that's what happened to the guy that was blessing Buddha out. And Buddha, the guy finally asked him, look, man, don't you hear what I'm saying to you? Don't you hear what I just called you? And Buddha reached in his begging basket, pulled out an apple, and reached it out to the man and said, look, see this apple? If I give you this apple but you refuse to take it, then whose apple is it? And the man said, well, of course it's your apple because I'm not going to take it. And Buddha said, you offer me insults and innuendo. I refuse to take it. So all of that is yours and not mine, since you want to know why I'm not paying you any attention. And then as we went through the book, we talk about how in the Garden of Eden, that conversation between Eve and Adam, Eve and the serpent wasn't about her. If you go back to that story, we've heard it, we've all heard it. He basically is telling her, don't you want to know what God knows? Don't you want to this? Don't you, and had her pretty much convinced that this was all about her. But when you look at the backstory, and I talk a lot about the backstory in this book. When you look at the backstory is that it wasn't all about Eve at all in that moment. It was about that servant running rackets on God for having been booted out of heaven. He wanted to get back at God. He saw her as something he could use in that end. And what really was behind that whole thing was his rebellion and anger at God. Had she seen what the backstory was in that moment and realized that it wasn't about her and that she did not have to ascribe to that rebellious retaliation, she never would have taken that apple, and when she did, she bit into it, and we know it could have been any kind of fruit. It wasn't necessarily an apple, but it's an apple for the purposes of the book. You know, she bit in that up, and what did she do in that moment, Sharvette? In that moment, she exchanged the Garden of Eden, which was her destiny, for the destiny of Satan. What she did was she ingested his retaliatory rebellion as she bit into that apple, and she just basically traded her harvest for his. Well, see, she shouldn't have taken that apple. If she'd have seen what was behind that apple, that serpent didn't give a rip about her or her destiny, that was all about the fact that he's no match for our God, then the only way he can mess up the master plan is by influencing us. If she'd have known that, she wouldn't have taken that apple. And she shouldn't have taken that apple, and neither should we. And that apple basically just represents circumstances, people, places, and things that get our goat every day. That we go through that are drawing on some trauma we went through in the past. And what we're doing is in the here and now, we wind up taking those apples, but we're doing it based on reacting to some past event in the here and now. And that's maladaptive for us. It's snatching us back like a rubber band into our past as if we're right back where the trauma occurred, rather than for us to be able to separate ourselves from that past, leverage that past in the here and now, learn the lessons we need to learn from that past experience, and leverage that bad baby toward our mission, purpose, and destiny. And that's what this book is. It's a good balance between multiple decades of sound behavioral science because I am a psychotherapist, and the spiritual principles of the Word of God. And we can't ignore our humanity. Jesus Christ had to come down here and accomplish his purpose in this earth in his humanity. We have got to accomplish in our humanity, but we got to quit turning our back on that humanity and begin to understand. See, there's power in education. If we understand how our humanity works and how we can leverage that instead of letting it run us, how our past is informing all the decisions we make in this here and now, and how our pastor to give a flying rip about our purpose, mission, and destiny, that we can leverage all of that toward our mission, purpose, and destiny, therein giving the enemy a black eye. This book is a blueprint for how to leverage the past, no matter how traumatic or hurtful it was, toward your mission, purpose, because that's why we breathe.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Linda F. Williams, you just heard some powerful nuggets right there. And the subtitle, or the extension of the title, is Empowering Purpose to Achieve Your God-Ordained Destiny. So that's really, really what you are on the mission with people, to make sure that they get to their God-ordained destiny.
Look, this is the deal. That book is real word. That book is not your grandmother's self-help book, just like I'm talking now. My brother read that book. He lives in Alaska. He said, that book is you all over. So what I wanted to do in the years I wrote this book, I had to come through healing. My sister, Susan A. Williams, predicted that I would write this book, but she also predicted that it would progress only as I healed. I had to come through multiple layers of healing to accomplish this task. It could not be accomplished unless I went through what I'm walking the readers through. Okay, and all I want to do is bring a realistic perspective to the real deal here. You know, I can't hear another accolade flying out of that pulpit. I don't know what the heck it means, who you are in Christ. What the heck does that mean when my behind is in the fire right now and I'm 2 fingernails from another nut house visit? And what does that mean? And all of the things that we hear in there about beauty for ashes and prosper even as your soul prospers. This book is a rubber meet the road, real world explanation of what all of that means, where the rubber meets the road, because I can't watch another person like Whitney Houston or the other girl I dedicate the book to, Deb Ferran, going out of here like a Jap, loving God with all their hearts, totally equipped, totally got everything they need to accomplish their mission and destiny, but because of what's not connected, what I connect in this book, they may not have known that, then they both wound up going out and getting taken out because of that. And see, there's too many people in the body of Christ that we're losing, because it's not about walking up in church and being dressed to the nines and seeing everybody dressed to the nines and singing beautifully when you sitting there with no food in your refrigerator and you got to go back home to a man whooping your head. I'm talking about people that are going through some real stuff. I'm not playing. See, this kind of stuff irritates me. It didn't help me to hear all of those things. I need to know the power of God's almighty word right now in my life. God, Jesus Christ, and his word are relevant in the new millennium, and that's what this book is all about.
My goodness. How can listeners get a hold of the book?
They can go to whosapple.org or go to Amazon.com. Whosapple.org is a one-stop shop for the e-book, the paperback, and the hardback. I'm available for motivational speaking, seminars, and conferences. They can go to whosapple.org and hook up there through the contact tab and reach me through LaTanya Boyd, who is my representative, or they can send me an email through booking@whosapple.org. Just go to whosapple.org and you'll find out more about the book. There's so much that we can't say in the few minutes we have here. It's just so power-packed, and I give people 2 powerful tools to walk themselves through all of the blind spots that we do not see. That's the insidiousness of this, though, Sharvette, because don't see it. We do not see. We are so completely blinded to how this stuff is affecting the decisions we make in the here and now. And it's in the here and now the destiny is made or destroyed. And if we don't understand and see how this stuff is informing and running us and really got us all the way off our path of purpose, if we don't see that, then we can't do a thing about it. But we don't have to be run by that. See, Jesus Christ didn't hang on that cross for no doggone reason. okay? And this is about connecting the dots, moving you more toward your path of purpose, explaining how knocked off of that by the trauma, the hurts that it's almost like, Sharvette, we get knocked down by some trauma, some wrong that was done to us. It can be really bad or just not bad, according to anybody else's perspective, but it can be very traumatic. And we get up and we brush ourselves off in the interest of survival and keep on stepping, not realizing that the whole time we're stepping in the wrong direction, that we're stepping off our path of purpose. We do not see it.
My God. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a very, very quick commercial break, and then I want to come back, and I want you to share with the listeners some of the things you have gone through, because somebody could be listening saying, yep, that all sounds cool and everything, but you have a testimony. You have proof. You are the VOE, voice of experience in this area of how you can connect the dots and come back up and turn the corner on what has happened in your past. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to hear more, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to hear more from Linda F. Williams, educator, author, life and empowerment coach, and author of Whose Apple Is It Anyway? We'll be right back. Don't you move one muscle.
It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Sharvette will be back after this.
Hello, we are 123jobzone.com, an online job search portal. We are user-friendly, and if you're searching for a job, with us, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, go to www.123jobzone.com and register as a job seeker. Step 2, once registered, upload your resumes. Step 3, get connected with employers looking for people like you who are ready and willing to work. Don't forget to follow 123 Job Zone on Twitter and Facebook to find out more about our upcoming job fairs. What are you waiting for? Stop by 123jobzone.com today. Good luck with your job search.
Spiritual Food for Thought, 31 Inspirational Quotes to Jumpstart Your Day by LaTanya Boyd, consists of inspirational messages that offer daily words of empowerment, promote spiritual growth and development in the Lord Jesus Christ for your day-to-day living. Spiritual Food for Thought, 31 Inspirational Quotes to Jumpstart Your Day. Available now on Kindle, ebook, and paperback. Log on to www.latboyd.com.
She's here to motivate, excite, and influence you. She's Sharvette Mitchell. It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show with in-depth interviews from today's leading authors, gospel artists, stars that you want to know about. And now, Sharvette Mitchell.
All right. Listeners, we are back here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Super excited to have you tuning in. Welcome to those hanging out on the phone lines, those coming in from Twitter, from Facebook, from Instagram, from Sharvette.com, and all of our broadcast stations. We thank you. And listen, we're jumping right back on in, chatting up here with Linda F. Williams. I'm telling you what, Whose Apple Empowerment Center. Oh, my goodness, it was formed by her. It's this self-help book that helps you connect the dots. Whose Apple Is It Anyway? Linda, tell our listeners a little bit about your background.
Oh, my goodness, you guys, I have been through it. There were many levels of healing that I had to come through as I did this book, and every time I would reach another level, it would be like a writer's block. I couldn't write. Nothing was working writing-wise, and it would inevitably take something that I would have to face about my past or realize about myself in order to move on. And I can tell you all about the fact that I was married for 16 years to a man that turned out to be a sexual predator and a child. He had molested my daughter, and that big fiasco. You have to read the book about that. There were multiple rapes, and I just want to talk about one profound instance of me having to overcome some of that to write the book. I had a boyfriend, and we have this game going on. Something would come out. Well, I'd tell him about something I'd been through, and he would be shocked, and we would talk it out, and then eventually wind up laughing about it because I was able to shock him so. And one day I admitted to him the very details of a rape. that I had suffered some 30 years before. And there were very few people that knew I had been raped, Sharvette, and the people who knew it never knew the whole story. But this day, for some reason, I came out with the whole story. And he asked me, did you go to the doctor? It was an absolute shock to my psyche. No, I never thought about going to the doctor. And the first thing that came out of my mouth was, why would I go to the doctor and admit to have made such a stupid decision? Because for that 30 years, I honestly believed that I deserved that rape because I was dumb enough to let this stranger in my room. And that was part of it just never crossed my mind that being raped till you're bleeding, okay, would require you to go to the doctor. I was so caught up in the wrong thinking that I had become the wrong that was done to me. And I went through a whole marriage in that condition where I thought that I deserved it. There was self-loathing going on. Now, everybody's got to understand this was going on without my knowledge. I had no clue that my thinking was all out of whack. But I admitted to him that that man had sodomized me and the circumstances under which it occurred, and then I sucked it up and moved on. I must have snapped him up because it was weeks before he brought it back around to me and told me, Linda, that man has to own what he did to you. At what point does that man have to own what he did to you? He said, yeah, okay, your responsibility in that began and ended with your decision to let him in your room. But when you let him in your room, you didn't know he was a rapist. You didn't ask him to rape you. That man sowed that seed that day when he did you that wrong. Why are you bearing it as if you are the wrong done to you and as if you deserved it? And it was like 30 years of oppression just fell off of me. And my eyes opened up, and I began to see that I had the whole wrong thinking about this. And see, this is an example, a prime example of how this works in our lives. We want better, Sharvette. We believe and pray for better. Sometimes we're willing to wait for better. But unless we get this thing right, this internal lie, system of lies that we believe, until we get that right, nothing's going to change. So we wind up in this cycle, this Groundhog's Day cycle of wanting better, knowing we want better. But what we actually drawn into our lives is constant, repetitive negativity, wrong relationships, getting hurt over and choosing the wrong people. We praying for a good man, but we're in no condition to maintain a decent relationship, even if we recognize it if it comes across our path. We want a good man that's this, that, and the other, but we want to drag all this negativity and this crud from our past into that relationship. So really, when you look at it, we want him to be all that in a bag of chips, but we want to drag a bunch of crap into the relationship with a man who is all that in a bag of chips, not realizing that it can never work until we heal from the inside out.
My God. Wow. And so you said it took, the healing process took several years for you to really write the book and put pen to paper because it was a healing process. So, as those that are listening that have either experienced it or they know someone that's going through it, what advice do you give them to help start? Some people may say, well, I'm not a writer. How do I overcome a sexual assault? What help or advice do you give them?
Well, my advice is that you need to get professional help. If we can't face it, God can't fix it, period. We have to heal to a point where we can talk about that in order to move through the process. Sometimes it takes you getting professional help. I was in and out of therapy several times even before I realized what my problem was, okay? The second thing is understand that you boilerplate my life, Sharvette's life, anybody's life into yours because you're an individual as God created you. You have a certain purpose, skills, and abilities that God gave you to fulfill your purpose. So you really need to be led by the Spirit as to how to walk through that, what layers the Holy Spirit wants to deal with from any given time at any given point, and let the Lord walk you through that process and put strong people willing to tell you truth in your life. Get the book. I can't sum it up here. I give you all of those steps in Whose Apple Is It Anyway, and just know that God's chomping at the bit to walk us through our healing.
Wow, God is chomping at the bit to walk us through our healing. He wants to heal us. Listen, Linda, we have a shout out from the chat room. Your sister, Susan, and she says, I just want to bring up the fact that vision is poor when wounded. To have others around you that can help you see what you do not see will help facilitate the healing.
My
wonderful,
sister,
wonderful.
Susan A. Williams. She's the only sister I got left. Lost my baby sister in July. And Susan A. Williams, the one who made that comment, is the one that called me and told me I was going to write a book. And she is that person in my life. Susan is that person in my life. Mm-hmm.
Praise God. Thank you, Susan. Thank you for listening, and thank you so much for your comment from the chat room. To have a support system is very important.
Very important.
Wouldn't you agree? Okay, so tell our listeners once again how they can get a hold of the book, connect with you, all that good stuff.
WHOSEAPPLE.org. One-stop shop. Get the book. Connect with me for conferences and seminars. Contact me through that web with any questions you have, and it's a one-stop shop for the book.
Well said, well said. And the last question I have for you, the goal of my show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we want to know what continues to motivate you.
Finally being in touch with my destiny motivates me, and the excitement of knowing that I can facilitate the destinies of others who are off track. That's what motivates me. Breathing in every day, there's a lot of people that are not breathing. A lot of very good people in the kingdom of God have left here. And what motivates me is that God has blessed me to guide other people to their destiny.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much again for just sharing with us here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Definitely big shout out to LaTanya Boyd who made the connection. Thank you. I know you've been doing a lot of press and interviews, but we trust that your book will reach people that really need it and really need some help to come up and connect the dots. I like how you said that, make all of this come together for them. So thank you so much again.
I have been honored. It's been my honor. Thank you so much, Sharvette.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, listeners, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to be back with our second segment featuring Angelia White. She is CEO and publisher of Hope for Women magazine, which is a lifestyle magazine tailored to diverse women of faith. It reaches more than 100,000 readers every single month with inspiring and uplifting and motivating stories. And so you want to hear all about it right after this commercial break. Don't you go anywhere.
It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Sharvette will be back after this.
Are you starting a new business, releasing a CD, writing a new book? Consider Mitchell Productions for your web design services. Visit www.mitchell-productions.com for portfolio samples, specials, and package prices. Remember, a website is not a luxury item. It's a necessity. Check out mitchell-productions.com or find them at facebook.com/Mitchell Productions.
IndustryBuzz with 3Zs.com. Join in today on the movement to bring integrity back to media. With one click of a button, you can disseminate your information right from IndustryBuzz to all your favorite social sites like Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, and to your email contact. Maximize your vision today. Plus, get the latest news, entertainment, and media. Need fashion or makeup tips? Looking for a job? Connect with us today. Want to connect with other business visionaries? Connect with us today. This site is for everyone, from teens to music lovers, from businessmen and women, industry professionals, and performers. As a member of Industry Buzz with 3Zs, you'll gain help promoting your vision. Industry Buzz with 3Zs will expose, expand, and keep your fan base up to date with all your happenings. Members also receive free or discounted perks from various sponsored companies. So join the social network, expand, and stabilize your business. Connect with like-minded individuals. Need an artist to minister at your upcoming event? Look on Industry Buzz. Have a voice and submit your article to our e-magazine. Industry Buzz with 3Zs is the place to globalize your vision. Establish it today. Be heard. It's all on IndustryBuzz with 3Zs.com. She's here to motivate, motivate, excite, and influence you. She's Sharvette Mitchell. It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show with in-depth interviews from today's leading authors, gospel artists, stars that you want to know about. And now, Sharvette Mitchell.
All right, welcome back again. Welcome to all those that are hanging out in the chat room, those on the phone lines, those that are listening in from Twitter, from Facebook, from Instagram, from Sharvette.com, from all of our broadcast stations. We love you guys. Listen, we're moving into our next segment. I'm really excited. My guest is hanging out in the virtual green room, so I know she's enjoying some virtual snacks. But listen, right before I bring her up to the mic, I do want to say, as promised earlier in the show, I want to let you know how to get your hands on 2 complimentary tickets to a mother-daughter celebration called A Storyline. Because your story matters, the tickets are $20 a piece, so the prize value is $40. You can take your mom, you can take your daughter. Listen, it features Aisha, Gap Tooth Diva, author of Flossom. She's been on the show before. The event features Michelle Roll, author. She's been on the show before. It features Reverend Marlene Fuller, who is friends of the show. It features jazz singer Joni Valentine, Miss Mabel Smith, and many, many more. This is what you need to do. Very simple. All you have to do to enter is to contact me. You can send an inbox on Facebook. You can send a direct message on Twitter. You can send a direct message on Instagram. Or you can go to Sharvette.com and send me a message. The drawing will stay open until 6 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. All right? So that's all you have to do is contact me some kind of way, and you can be the lucky winner, the blessed winner, let me say it that way, of 2 complimentary tickets to a mother-daughter celebration. Listen, it's taking place Saturday, May 2nd at 2 p.m., Saturday, May 2nd at 2 p.m. in Richmond, Virginia, First Mennonite Church on Pam Road. There you go. All right, so let's move right on into our second segment. Again, my guest is hanging out in the virtual green room. I'm really honored to have this dynamic young lady who has such a platform and such influence with what she has done. And so we are going to be bringing up to the mic Angelia White. She's the CEO and publisher of Hope for Women magazine. Oh, my goodness. It's a lifestyle magazine for diverse women of faith, and I'm telling you what, she has a story. You're going to hear all about it, who's been on the cover and how she got started and all that good stuff. The magazine reaches over 100,000 readers every single month. HopeForWomenMag.com is where you can find out all about it. So I talked enough. Let me go ahead and go to the mic and bring Angelia White on the air. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hello. Nice to be here, and thank you so much. It's exciting. I've been so excited about this.
Oh, my goodness. I am honored to have you. As always, all of my guests are always doing phenomenal things, and so I know this is different that I'm interviewing you. You're probably on the other side, usually interviewing other people and your editors and all that good stuff, but let's jump right on in. So there are a lot of people, I'm sure, that are listening that have said, I wanted to start a magazine or start a bulletin or start something. What gave you the motivation and the inspiration to do this?
Well, the motivation came, I actually had planned to do this in 2000. But you know how you have an idea. Sometimes you have an idea and you're like, nah, that's not for me. I can't do that. But it was only supposed to be It was only supposed to be a newsletter, and so 5 years later, it just kind of stuck. That desire and dream kind of stuck with me, and with the untimely deaths of my grandmother, and then like 2 months later, Sharvette, my father passed, and it was just like at a transitioning moment in my life. I was 35, and I just had that wake up, and I call it my aha moment, where I was so busy just existing that I wanted to start living my life. I wanted to find out what my purpose was, what God created me for. So with that, I was inspired just to do a newsletter for 50 to 100 women. And as I began to publish the newsletter, and through my email database, the women, thousands and thousands of women just started to gravitate to the magazine and to the whole mission and the message of hope, because that's something that we all need.
Absolutely. And because hope is one of those things, if you feel hopeless, it's a bad place. It's not a good place.
It is.
Even if things are going wrong in your life, or the cookies aren't adding up like you want to, if there's a glimmer of hope, you can make it. And so, how did you decide to select even the name of the magazine?
Well, that's the essence of the whole platform and the vision, is because I actually had another name for the magazine, and it just sounded good, the name that I had picked out before. And my mentor, coach at that time, told me to dig deep and to really figure out what it is inside of me that would empower me and inspire me to do this magazine. So in doing so, I took the journey back into my past, to the sexual abuse that I encountered as a little girl, and how I had a good family support, and how I pushed through all that. And what I wanted to do was, when I thought about what I went through, and this, I thought, I was like, there are so many other women out that has went through the same things that I went through, if not worse. So what I want to do is give them hope for women, and that's the story right there. That's how hope was.
My goodness. There you have it, listeners. There you have it. And so talk a little bit about, in 2005, life kind of changed a little bit for you. Talk a little bit about what happened during that time period.
Well, during that time, that's when I lost my father. I lost my grandmother. I was in a job, and I just wasn't happy. I just wasn't content, and I knew that there was more to life, and I was just on this journey to figure out what my purpose was. I actually even was battling depression, you name it. I was going through it, and I just wanted to figure out a way. How do I get out of this box? How do I move forward? How do I transition into this life that God really had intended and created for me? And the magazine basically was my journey. This is really my journey. And then, as with any other journey, you have people that come along with you. And so throughout the course of my journey with hope, thousands of women just decided to join this journey with me, to be inspired and empowered. So that was my life.
Well, I got to tell you, you are delivering. You're doing something right. Your team's doing something right. You are delivering what people need to have a readership, of over 100,000 every month. Some people can't get 10 people to read something they put out. So, kudos to you for putting out what is needed, providing what is needed, and doing it in such an excellent way. Tell our listeners some of the great people you've had grace the cover of your magazine.
Oh, we had some great covers. Our first cover actually was CeCe Winans. We had Joyce Myers, Ruby Gettinger, April Hernandez, Erica Campbell, Mary, Candace Cameron, Maya. We actually had Tasha Smith was on one of our covers, and this month Dorinda Clark Cole is on our current issue for our spring issue. So we've been blessed to be able to have some wonderful covers, and I'm often asked, Sharvette, if, do you pay? People have to pay to be on the cover? I'm like, no, I just get on the phone, or I email them. They either going to say yes or no, as my mama would say. She said, just ask. And so that's what I've done. I just asked. And they gladly accept it.
phenomenal. And so Hope for Women magazine features things about health and wellness and fashion and careers and education and beauty and family and relationships and faith and art and entertainment. I mean, it is a full, magazine. And I love that you cater to diversity in women and those of faith, so you're not targeting just one population in faith. If it's a woman of faith, this is who your magazine is for. Is that correct?
That's right. Just any type of place. We're not a preachy magazine. We're not going to tell you, that you're not going to make it into the kingdom. That's nothing. It's not about that. The only thing we want to do is we want to provide you hope and inspiration, because regardless, one thing is for certain, regardless of what a person's faith or belief is, we all are mothers, we're sisters, we're friends. We go to the doctor. We may have the same health issues. We are our moms and all those good things. So, we have something in common. So we've never denounced a person because of whatever their faith or their belief is. So.
All right, well said. And hello to those that are tuning in, checking us out here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. We're super excited to have you. We see you on the phone lines in the chat room, those coming in from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Sharvette.com, and, of course, our broadcast stations. Thank you. And we are chatting it up here. And one of our featured interview spotlights, Angelia White, CEO and publisher of Hope for Women magazine. So talk a little bit about your team and what it takes, all the hands that are involved to help put this magazine out.
Well, that was a process, because a lot of times you get to this point after 10 years, you think, oh, everything is wonderful. And I think I'm grateful for all those people that were part of the journey that helped me build throughout the course of time. And I'm extremely grateful for the individuals that I have with me now, my PR director, my coach, and my editors and everyone that in my admin that keep me organized, because I'm the most unorganized person.
Keep you sane.
I was looking, I was like, I finally have a calendar that's just organized. Like, what am I supposed to do? So it's really important. I'm a person of belief, because when I first started, people, was advising, oh, you need to have this big conglomerate team, and you need to have all these people. And, I'm one to say less is more, and it's quality over quantity. So I'd rather have 3 or 4 or 5 committed, dedicated, loyal, trustworthy individuals working with me, to grow, that we can grow each other, to, not be afraid to, speak our truths to one another. I'd rather have that than, 20, 50 people, with a whole bunch of commotion and drama.
You're preaching good right there. That's good advice. Good sound advice, good sound counsel. All right, so tell listeners, how can they subscribe? How can they get a hold of it, get on the list? How do they do all that?
You can go to our website, which is www.hopeforwomenmag.com to subscribe. And once you're there, you can subscribe to our newsletter button, which at this point is Dorinda Clark. And once you hit that button, it takes you into the back end to get your digital issue. And you can go to just go to our website, and that's where all the information is there.
Fabulous. HopeForWomenMag.com. And if you're on Sharvette.com, my blog article has the link right there. So all you got to do is click on the beautiful picture, your beautiful picture, Angelia's beautiful picture. Love it.
The team pushed me out there to do that.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Because I'm sure you're a behind-the-scenes person. I'm sure.
All the time. I love them behind the scenes, and they were like, no, you need to get out front.
Pushing you out of your comfort zone. So
exactly.
Tell us, So tell us, what advice do you have for? I'm just going to pick a couple topics, and you just give your advice or what you have gleaned, perhaps from articles and interviews you all have done for the magazine. Relationships, any for women that are let's say mothers balancing work and husbands and jobs and all that, and just trying to keep their relationships going. What hope do you offer them? What suggestions do you offer them?
Well, we as women, we want to be superwomen. We want to say we want to just multitask. But I think the best advice that I can give any woman with mother that's, balancing mother, career, family, and all that good stuff is to always take time for you. You have to give back to yourself. We often put everyone first, but the primary person to direct all your attention to is yourself. Because once you're good and you love on yourself, everything else will fall into place. And there's so much balance. You're centered, and it's just a good place to do, because we're just givers by nature. And but it's so important that we take time for ourselves. And I'm not saying just to become this endowed and materialistic with ourselves, but you just have to take that time, read that book, go away to the park or somewhere, get your nails done, do a mani-pedi, do something fun for you, go out and eat a beautiful dinner, just do something special for yourself. I think that's very important that we do that.
Oh, right. Great. What do you say to the woman that is listening? What hope do you offer them if they want to start a magazine themselves or start a newsletter themselves? What are maybe the first couple steps you would offer as hope for them?
The first step is that they can do it, because a lot of times we are paralyzed by fear, and, we can think about all the thousands and millions of reasons why we shouldn't do it. But don't be afraid to ask people. I know we're in that time where a lot of times people don't want to give advice. It's just the truth of the matter. Some people don't like to share because they feel like, she's trying to take my idea and all that good stuff. But trust me, there are people out there that's willing to pour into your vision and to help coach you to publish that newsletter and publish that magazine. Find people like myself, hit me up, I don't mind, that, don't mind sharing with you, some of the tips, of what to do is how do I put a magazine together, what does a folio, what is the imposition, what is all these things, what is a media kit, how do I get interns? Those are some of the things that a lot of people, a lot of us don't know. I didn't know those things. So, don't be afraid to ask. It goes back to someone's either going to say yes or they're going to say no. But, don't let that no define. You just keep asking.
All right, keep asking. Great advice. Okay, so who have been some of your favorite, and I know it's hard to pick because it's like, a baby, it's like you can't really pick them out, but some of your favorite covers or favorite articles that you featured in your magazine?
That is really hard because I really can't say what the favorite is, because there's so much that go into each issue, that in every issue that we're able to produce and publish, it's just amazing. I think it's just great and it's just fabulous. And after 10 years of doing this, every magazine that I publish, it still humbles me and just makes me cry. And I cry like a baby because it's just, that I was able to do what my purpose was. So it's kind of hard to, to kind of say which one. Now, I've had some beautiful covers. I, had an opportunity to do the Maya, we did the Maya cover, and that was really fun because we did our own cover shoot, and then the same way with Candace Cameron. So with those covers, we established a relationship and a friendship with Ruby and April Hernandez and different ones. So that was always fun.
All right, there you go, there you go. And listeners, again, if you go to hopeforwomenmag.com, I mean, you're just going to get so much stuff, inspiration and style and health and relationships and videos and blogs and all kinds of stuff. I'm telling you what, you can even read about renowned gospel singer Gladys Knight, how she shares why she continues to use her gift, and just many more things in there. So check it out. All right, is there anyone that you haven't had featured in your magazine yet, but you're like, I really would like to have them in the magazine somewhere? It doesn't necessarily have to be on the cover, but someone maybe that you really would like to connect with and have them in the magazine.
The person I really want to connect with is Mary J. Blige. I definitely have to have Mary J. on the cover somehow or some way to share her cover. And then I also, because, the ladies are often talking about, they want to profile a male. And I think since he has a great connection with a female audience, I really like to feature, if not cover, Tyler Perry. I think he would be a great inspiration in our magazine.
He has a lot to say, and definitely connected to your mission around hope. Definitely. Okay, so what is the future? What do you see down the road, around the corner for the magazine? What do you have in vision for Hope for Women?
Well, around the corner, we have our 10-year celebration event that's going to take place in Indianapolis, Indiana this year, July the 17th and the 18th. And so that's just real exciting because it's like 10 years. I can't believe it. And we're going to celebrate, and it's empowering. It's going to be life-changing. And with some of the individuals that I connected with over the course of time, they're coming just to pour into the conference attendees. So that's going to be real, real fun. I'm looking forward to just connecting and having an intimate weekend with the ladies that attend, and gentlemen, because I have some gentlemen want to come too, so we can't exclude them. And then I'm also looking forward to us continue to expand on our features and our cover story, to do some more surprises, and the team create more beautiful, breathtaking and eye-catching magazines. I'm looking forward to that. And then also one thing that I'm looking forward to is once we launch our Hope TV, where the pages of the magazine come to life. So we're really excited about that, Sharvette. So, and it's so.
Oh,
nice.
wow!
I think that's
Listen, I'm
real
glad I got my interview now. I got my interview now, so when I see you on TV, I can say, listen, y'all go back to the archives. I got my interview. So I do want to highlight your Live, Dream, and Inspire conference. So that's July 17th through the 18th, the Hyatt Regency in Indiana. Oh, my goodness. So awesome. You said you have some keynote speakers that are joining to really bless the audience?
Right, I do. We have Michelle McKinney-Hammond, which a lot of us have read several of her books. She's one of our keynotes. Doreen Rainey, she's going to be with us. And Cheryl Pullins is going to be with us. April Hernandez, one of our past cover girls. Dee Marshall of Girlfriends Pray. Dee will be with us. And I'm forgetting, Coach Felicia Scott. She's going to be with us also. So we have it's going to be a great weekend.
All right. And again, you can hopeforwomenmag.com, hopeforwomenmag.com. Right in the middle, there's a beautiful flyer. You can click on that, and it'll give you more information about that particular event. I love that. What have you found working with women? Because, sometimes people will say we're catty, or, it's one against the other. But what strengths, what powers have you seen, just featuring women, and maybe even reader comments, anything that's come in that you could share about just the power of us as women coming together?
That we're all really the same. We may be at different levels or different places in our life, but in all actuality, we're really the same. We're all looking for hope. We're looking to be inspired. We're looking to be empowered. We want to grow. We want to be loved. We want to be accepted. So that's one of the things that I found out and that about the women that I've even come in contact with, whether it's been a good relationship or a bad relationship, we all want to have a sense of that, of value, that respect. So I think that's what we all are. We want to be appreciative. We want to be able to show love and say, Sharvette, you're doing a wonderful job. Keep it up, girl. You want to be able to hear that. Am I doing okay? Sometimes you just need that pat on the back and say, I really enjoyed your show. And it doesn't take much for people just to say something kind, because that might be that thing or that advice or that encouragement that gives you that next win or that second win to go and do your talk show, on live television, So.
Absolutely. Yes. Oh, I love that. And and it doesn't take a lot. It's just a little bit to help. And I'm just on this hope theme because this is a theme of you, but to give someone hope or to add to the hope they already have, to pile on, add on some additional hope that they already have. Listen, listeners, we love you guys. Thank you. We see you on the phone lines. Those that are hanging out in the chat room, big shout out. Look, our last guest, Linda F. Williams, was the first guest. She's hanging out in the chat room, and her sister, Susan Williams, is hanging out in the chat room. Teresa Flats, thank you so much, who, as I mentioned, is giving away gifted, sponsored 2 tickets to her event. It's a mother and daughter celebration Saturday, May 2nd, right here in the capital city at 2 p.m., First Mennonite Church. Inbox me, DM me, contact me so you can be in the drawing for those tickets. Again, so just a reminder on that, we're going to do the drawing by 6 p.m. on Wednesday. So just wanted to shout you guys out. All right, so Angelia, tell listeners how they can connect with you on social media and all those great places.
On social media, you can connect with me personally on Twitter at Angelia L. White, and that's, Angelia L, and then White, White, or you can follow us on Hope, our Hope Twitter page at Hope Mag, and we have a lot of discussion and conversation over at our Facebook fan page, which is Hope, the number 4 women. So you can find out, that's where a lot of announcements and a lot of good things that take place. And, you can always email me if you have a story idea, you want to share, something that, God has done for you, or just, a success story of hope. You can always email me at Angelia@hopeforwomenmag.com, because I love listening to stories and just inspiring women just to keep moving forward.
Wonderful. And I have tagged on Facebook and I have tweeted. So those are easy connection points. If you're saying, how do I spell her name? Listen, we got you. We got you. Sharvette.com. It will connect you. And then also Twitter.com/Sharvette, Facebook.com/Sharvette are easy connection points. So my last question for you. The goal of my show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we want to know what continues to motivate you.
Continues to motivate me is that each and every day that I'm living out my purpose, and that one day when I didn't know that I had a purpose, that I realized that I have to get busy living, and to wake up every day to live in my purpose is the thing that motivates me.
All right. Phenomenal. Listeners, put your hands together. Yes. Angelia L. White, Hope for Women magazine. Well, it has been an honor to have you on the show and just feature you. You are so often featuring other people, but it was just a complete honor for us to have you and to feature you and share you with our listeners.
And it was really nice to be here. I was really excited about the show. I just couldn't wait to sit down and chat with you. And I seen you around. I was like, I get to talk to her. So I was really excited that Leah was able to connect us. So.
Oh, yes, big shout-out to Leah. Shout-out there. Big shout-out to Elder Gwen Finley DeBose. We found out we have a mutual friend. Big shout-out. I know they're listening, so thank you. You know, the world is much more smaller than we think it is. Don't you agree?
It really is. It really is.
It really, really is. Well, thank you so much again. All right, listeners, guess what? That's going to wrap up another edition of the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Listen, reminder, to be in the drawing for 2 tickets. 2 tickets valued at $40, listeners. You can contact me. This is being put on by Teresa Flats. Again, thank you. She's hanging out in the chat room. A mother-daughter celebration. It features Aisha Gaptooth Diva, Reverend Marlene Fuller, Michelle Rowe, jazz singer Joni Valentine, Miss Mabel Smith, and listen, Nidra K from Showtime at the Apollo. I'm telling you what, tickets will not be sold at the door. You can get in on this. You can get in on these tickets. Just contact me before 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Inbox me, direct message me, or go to Sharvette.com. The event, again, is in Richmond, Saturday, May 2nd at 2 p.m. Tickets are $20 a piece, will not be sold at the door. There will be food. Yes. So check out www.unforgettableevents.homestead.com. Unforgettableevents.homestead.com. All right, and certainly we want to shout out our special sponsors as well. The second annual Fashion for the Kingdom Women's Conference that's going to be here in the capital city of Richmond, Virginia. I'm telling you what, women, there are so many empowering things available to you that'll continue to give you hope in whatever you do. So definitely check out the second annual Fashion for the Kingdom Women's Conference. That's June 19th through June 20th. And the keynote speaker is Ambassador Sharice Monroe. She's the daughter of the late Dr. Miles Monroe and Pastor Ruth Monroe, and it's so beautiful. Her mother, Pastor Ruth Monroe, was the keynote speaker last year, and as you know, they passed tragically in an accident. A plane accident, and she is coming to Richmond to share. There's going to be a tribute for Dr. Miles Monroe during this whole event. You want to be a part and just go and support the second annual Fashion for the Kingdom Women's Conference. Elder Jonah Tyler Davis is the host. Go to jtdministries.org. jtdministries.org will give you everything that you need to know. And we appreciate you. Listen, check back next week for more shows. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you have been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Connect with her at Sharvette.com. And until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. The Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Signing off.